So before I get into the two major talking points, I think, from today, what am I going to say? Put it in the comments before I say it. What am I about to say about why we have lost this game? 3, 2, 1. Set piece again. How difficult is it to mark players? Now look, don't get me wrong. It is a phenomenal finish, and you hear it in the commentary, and people in the studio go, what a finish by Joachim Andersen. There's no goalkeeper in the world that would have saved it. Here's the problem. If a centre-back is getting a volley in the penalty area, then the defence hasn't dealt with it, and your goalkeeper shouldn't have even had to save it in the first place. How many more times are we going to concede from set pieces because we stand in a line and let all the dangers roam freely around our penalty area? Like I say, don't get me wrong. Joachim Andersen has come onto that ball and smashed a 1 in 100 volley perfectly past Onana. It wasn't in the top corner, it was down the middle, but he hit it so hard and so accurately, he had absolutely no chance. But once again, we have left a player of Joachim Andersen's quality completely unmarked in the middle of the penalty area. Enough said. That's why we've lost this game from a defensive standpoint, because we've not done our jobs there. And it was no surprise that the goal came from the left-hand side of the pitch, i.e. to our defensive left-hand side. We didn't play a left-back today. Amrabat played at left-back, but it was basically playing at CDM/right mid again. So it wasn't a surprise to me that Casemiro had to overcommit and commit a foul. And from that foul, the set piece and then the goal. That's the first complaint. That's the reason we've lost from a defensive point of view. Then the actual two talking points that I want to get into today. Firstly, shooting blanks in terms of goal scoring, and secondly, refereeing. But we'll actually start with the refereeing because, again, for both teams, and I have to stress this is for both teams. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the referee was biased one way or another, but the officiating of this football match was absolutely atrocious. And it affected both sides, and most critically for Manchester United, when we were on top, we should have had a penalty. There is no doubt about it. That ball travels about 45 yards from Bruno Fernandes, and I don't care if Joel Ward has his back turned. Firstly, that's poor defending, because you never turn your back on the ball. He's let Marcus Rashford go. He's trying to find him, and while he's trying to find him, he's trying to block his run into the box and sticks his arms out wide. That is unnatural. And it blocks the ball from getting to Rashford. It is handball. It should have been a penalty. We were absolutely on top at that moment in time. And that decision then derailed us. Because from that point onwards, we spent too long complaining about that decision that we then lost our momentum and allowed Palace to get back into their shape. I am utterly convinced if we get that penalty and then score it, admittedly, we then go on to win that football match. But that key moment absolutely cost us. And like I say, that wasn't the only bad decision from the referee in that game. I genuinely believe Crystal Palace should have had a penalty for the handball, yet again from Amrabat. As I understand the rules, in both instances, players have got their arms out and have blocked the ball from going from their intended location away from their body. Both should have been a penalty. So hey-ho, at least he was consistent within the match, right? No. Both should have been penalties. Both weren't given. Unbelievable decisions. Then you have to talk about players that should have been sent off. And I'll start with the Man United players, because Man United players should have been sent off in this game. Casemiro should have been sent off. I don't think the first yellow card should have been a yellow card for the tackle that it was so early on in the game. I don't think it was too bad of a tackle to warrant a yellow card. But after he made that yellow card offence, he committed 5 separate fouls after getting booked. 5, of which possibly 2 of them could have just been outright yellow cards anyway. Casemiro should have been sent off. Amrabat should have been sent off for the deliberate handball in the first half that wasn't given, that was a deliberate handball. And then again for the deliberate handball in the second half that he was booked for. And then obviously, like I say, if the penalty would have been given, he probably would have been sent off for a second yellow then as well. So that's bad refereeing. I think Doucouré should have been sent off for a high leg on Marcus Rashford, the sort of challenge that got Casemiro sent off last season. I think Joel Ward should have been sent off for a tackle on Marcus Rashford, for high leg, studs up into the player's leg, very much like Sabitzer got sent off against Leicester last season. All these decisions add up to just an appalling refereeing performance that then overall disrupts the game and everything in and around it. And then to top it all off, after all of these incidences and all of these VAR checks, plus 6 separate windows of substitutions in the second half, he only added 4 minutes of added time. Oh, it's very hard to talk about anything else when the officiating of a football match is that bad. It really is, because the amount of disruption that it causes has a knock-on effect to everyone on the pitch and the style of play and everything in and around it. But it is what it is. The game went on like that. And then we have to talk about the other problem, which is somehow we have not scored in this football match. We have dominated the game. Let me get the stats up right now, because it must have been at least 75% possession. 77% possession, 19 shots on goal. And Sam Johnston only actually had to make 3 saves from 19 shots. And the problem is, because it is a problem, there are too many glory hunters on the Manchester United team. And that is Rashford. Well, today anyway. That was Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, to an extent at times even Casemiro today. And that's just too many players. Every single time they get the ball, the link-up play is good up to a point. But the moment anyone thinks they have half a chance of scoring, they shoot. They waste the ball. They take on a man when an easy pass is available. And we waste good positions and good opportunities because we're too eager to do something clever. And I tell you what, we really, really missed Hannibal today. We really missed him, because the difference is he's willing and prepared to do the nitty-gritty stuff. He's willing to say, I'll have it, I'll get the ball, and then I'll do something. But Mount and Bruno Fernandes, it was like the first couple of games of the season again. They were too close to the striker. When Casemiro had the ball, his only options were to try and drill it all the way in to either Højlund, Fernandes or Mount, play an overly wide pass to Rashford or Pellistri, or to go back into Amrabat. The formation at times was mad. It was like 2-2-5-1. Because Amrabat was tucking in as a left centre mid, leaving the back two. Dalot was playing at right wing / right wing back again. But every time we got the ball, all we did was go left. It was very, very bizarre. And like I say, it just resulted in too many players not taking responsibility on the ball again when we had it. No one saying, I'll take it. I'll play the pass that then leads to the pass to the goal. No. All the midfielders wanted to do was be the person who got the assist or got the goal. And all the forwards wanted to do, apart from Højlund, I'll give Højlund his due, but he didn't get many opportunities. Everyone else just wanted to put the ball in the net. Højlund spent basically 95% of the game with his back to Crystal Palace's goal, because that's what he was told to do. He was told to be the link-up player, be the one to feed in the likes of Rashford and Pellistri and Garnacho and Mount and Bruno Fernandes. But the ball never got to him because Mount and Bruno Fernandes weren't willing to receive the ball in the first place to then play the ball into Højlund. And that's where we missed Hannibal, because Hannibal's willing to do that. Hannibal is willing to put himself about, sacrifice his own personal glories for the sake of the team. And I think too many players on that football pitch today were unwilling to do that, and that's why we didn't score. From a attacking point of view, we've obviously talked about the refereeing nonsense and whatnot. And I genuinely think that is the issue. I think when you have that many individual-minded players on the pitch, it doesn't matter how good the style of play is, those players are then going to let you down in those areas of the pitch because they're unwilling to be sacrificial. They're too willing to be selfish to take the glory for themselves. And it's a real stark contrast in two separate performances from two different groups of players from Wednesday night to tonight, or Tuesday night to tonight, because it really needs addressing. And again, don't get me wrong, it was a different Crystal Palace team. I thought Anderson and Gahey at the back were absolutely phenomenal. And again, way, way improved from what we saw from Rob Holding. And I can't remember who the other centre-back was the other night, but much, much better defensive performance from Crystal Palace with those two at the heart of their defence. But you've got to adjust to that. And like I say, the Manchester United players that played tonight did not adjust well to that. And ultimately, I don't think Crystal Palace deserved to concede. Granted, like I say, we should have had a penalty, which if we scored, I then believe we could have gone on to win. But to be relying on a penalty once again to get a goal means we don't deserve to score a goal, because we're not actually capable of doing the necessary things to win a football match. And it's cost us again today. It's as simple as that. We should have won that game. We dominated it. We created enough opportunities, but we're then wasteful with how we then addressed those opportunities when they came. So That leaves us 10th in the table with 9 points after 7 games. 9 points after 7 games. Oi, 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 oi. I mean, that's pretty much season over. You can forget about chasing down City. Granted, City lost today, but everyone else has either won or Tottenham and Liverpool are about to play each other. That needs to be a draw if we've got any chance of catching either of them just for the top 4. And obviously, we've already lost to Bayern in the Champions League. God help us against whoever it is. I've not actually checked whether it's Galatasaray or Copenhagen in midweek. I've not actually checked, but whoever it's going to be, they're going to be well up for it. And if we're playing like we played today, we're going to struggle to score against them as well. We really need to get our act together in terms of teamwork and being unselfish when you've got the ball at your feet. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Yet again, it's another heated reaction for me. Dave is smiling his head off because Luton Town have just beaten Everton as I finish speaking, because Luton games always last about 10 minutes longer than everyone else's. I'm going to try and calm down and watch the Tottenham-Liverpool game. And like I say, let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section. Where does that leave Manchester United for the rest of this season, albeit just 7 Premier League games in? Thank you very much for watching, as always. And thank you for 900 subscribers yet again as well. We've had another massive boost in subscribers over the last 24 hours. So thank you very much for that. I'll see you again on probably Tuesday for my Champions League predictions.